The Bronze Age, a time of mighty empires, great cities rose, trade flourished. Around 1200 BC, this world ended, civilizations crumbled, darkness fell. Historians have long debated its cause. Climate change, natural disasters, invasion? What if the answer is far more sinister? What if the collapse was not a random event but a carefully orchestrated plan? A plan for revenge? The perpetrators? Cats. For millennia, cats were revered in ancient Egypt. They were seen as the embodiment of Bastet, the goddess of protection, fertility, and home. Temples were built in her honor. Offerings were made. Cats lived as gods. Then human ambition intervened. The pharaohs, drunk on power, turned away from Bastet. They sought other deities, other sources of strength. This betrayal did not go unnoticed. Bastet, once a protector, became an avenger. The cats, her loyal servants, would be her instruments of chaos. The Bronze Age relied on bronze, an alloy of copper and tin. Its production was complex, controlled by the ruling elite. Cats saw an opportunity. They had discovered a new metal iron, abundant and easier to work with. Secretly, through subtle manipulation and the occasional strategically placed dead rat, they whispered the secrets of ironworking to unsuspecting humans. The result? Chaos. The monopoly on bronze collapsed. Weapons became cheaper, more accessible. The old order crumbled as a new age dawned, the Iron Age. As civilizations teetered on the brink of collapse, a new and formidable threat emerged from the depths of the sea. The enigmatic Sea Peoples. These mysterious raiders attacked with unparalleled ferocity, disrupting vital trade routes and plunging the entire Mediterranean region into chaos and uncertainty. Their true identity remains shrouded in mystery, a puzzle that has baffled historians and scholars for centuries. Could they be the disgruntled refugees of collapsing civilizations, driven to desperation and violence by the loss of their homes and livelihoods? Or, as the ever-watchful cats would have us believe, could there be something far more sinister and cunning at play? Imagine for a moment the stealth and agility of a cat, moving with silent precision and grace. Their ability to move unseen, unheard, slipping through the shadows like whispers in the night. Now picture those same skills being used to infiltrate coastal cities, to sow discord and pave the way for widespread destruction and mayhem. The Sea Peoples, agents of chaos, directed by the cunning and calculated fury of feline masterminds, orchestrating a symphony of destruction from the shadows. The Mediterranean, once a thriving hub of commerce and culture, now lay in ruins, its cities and trade routes devastated by these relentless invaders. Scholars and historians have long debated the origins and motivations of the Sea Peoples, but the true nature of their connection to the feline world remains an enigma. Could it be that the cats, with their piercing eyes and inscrutable expressions, hold the key to understanding this ancient mystery? In the ancient cities, cats and humans coexisted, their lives intertwined in ways that we are only beginning to comprehend. Perhaps the cats, with their silent guidance and subtle influence, played a far greater role in shaping the course of history than we have ever imagined. The Sea Peoples and their feline allies, working together in a dance of destruction and chaos, forever altering the fate of the Mediterranean world. As the dust settled and the chaos subsided, the cats would slip away, leaving behind only whispers of their involvement and the lingering question: what other secrets do they hold beneath their enigmatic gaze? Egypt in Flames. A tale of divine retribution and the fall of a once great civilization. The mighty rulers of Egypt, who once commanded the respect and fear of their people, now found themselves at the mercy of an unexpected adversary. Egypt, once mighty, was not immune to the chaos. The grandeur of its cities, the splendor of its monuments, all lay in ruins as the land was engulfed in turmoil. The pharaohs who had abandoned Bastet felt her wrath most keenly. The goddess of home, fertility, and protector of the pharaohs, Bastet, had been neglected and forgotten. In their hubris, the pharaohs had turned their backs on her, and now they faced the consequences. Plagues of locusts, reminiscent of divine retribution, ravaged the land. The skies darkened as swarms of locusts descended upon the fields, devouring crops and leaving devastation in their wake. The people of Egypt, who once relied on the bounty of their land, now faced starvation. the Nile, Egypt's lifeblood, refused to flood. Drought and famine followed. The river that had sustained the civilization for millennia had turned against them. The once fertile banks of the Nile were now dry and cracked, and the people struggled to survive. Whispers of discontent grew into roars of rebellion. The people, suffering from hunger and despair, began to question the divine right of their rulers. Protests erupted, and the once revered statues of the pharaohs were toppled by angry mobs. The pharaohs, once considered gods, were now seen as weak, cursed. Their power crumbled. The rulers who had once been worshipped as deities were now fleeing for their lives, their grand temples and palaces reduced to rubble. Egypt, the land that had once worshipped cats, was brought low by the very creatures they had betrayed. The cats, once revered and protected, now roamed freely through the ruins of the ancient cities, a symbol of the pharaoh's downfall and the wrath of Bastet. The mighty civilization of Egypt had fallen, not to foreign invaders, but to the fury of the very beings they had once held sacred. Across the Aegean Sea, the Mycenaean civilization flourished. This ancient society, known for its impressive architectural feats and powerful influence, was a beacon of strength and culture in the ancient world. Palaces at Mycenae, Tiryns and Pylos stood as testaments to their power. These grand structures, adorned with intricate frescoes and fortified walls, were the heart of Mycenaean society, bustling with activity and life. They were not just homes for the elite, but also centers of administration, trade, and religious practices. The Mycenaeans were master builders, and their palaces reflected their advanced engineering skills and artistic sensibilities. But even they were not safe from the feline fury. Earthquakes shattered their cities. These natural disasters struck with a ferocity that left the Mycenaeans reeling, their once mighty structures reduced to rubble. Fires, seemingly random and impossible to control, consumed their palaces. Whispers of shadowy figures moving with feline grace spread fear and paranoia. Was it Bastet's wrath delivered through her loyal servants? The fires spread quickly, feeding on the wooden beams and thatched roofs, leaving nothing but charred remains in their wake. The Mycenaeans, already struggling to rebuild after the earthquakes, found themselves facing an enemy they could not see or understand. The shadowy figures, rumored to be agents of the Egyptian goddess Bastet, added an element of supernatural dread to their plight. Once masters of the sea, navigated the treacherous waters of the Aegean with skill and confidence. Their ships, sturdy and swift, were symbols of their dominance over the maritime trade routes. Crumbled under a wave of destruction that seemed both orchestrated and utterly inexplicable. The Mycenaeans, who had once stood tall and proud, were now brought to their knees by forces they could neither predict nor control. The combination of natural disasters and mysterious fires created a perfect storm of chaos and destruction. The Mycenaean civilization, once a beacon of power and culture, faced a cataclysmic collapse that would echo through history. The empire crumbles under tiny paws. In Anatolia, the Hittite Empire, with its chariots of iron and vast armies, seemed invincible, but even they were not immune to the subtle machinations of cats. Drought weakened their empire, crops failed, famine stalked the land. Internal strife, fueled by whispers and rumors, tore at the empire's fabric. The Hittites, once a mighty force, fractured into smaller, weaker states. Their empire, built on conquest and iron, crumbled under a weight of misfortune that seemed almost deliberate. The rise of the Iron Age and cat overlords. The Bronze Age ended in chaos. From the ashes, a new world emerged, the Iron Age. Iron, once a secret whispered by cats, was now the metal of power. New kingdoms rose, new empires were forged, but a subtle shift had occurred. Cats were no longer just companions. They were revered, feared, respected. They had shown their power. The humans, chastened, learned their lesson. The age of the cat overlords had begun. Heed the purr or face the consequences. The Bronze Age collapse serves as a stark warning from history, a reminder that even the mightiest empires are not immune to the consequences of their actions. The abandonment of Bastet, the disrespect shown to cats, had catastrophic consequences. It reminds us that the natural world and the creatures we share it with deserve our respect. To ignore this lesson is to risk repeating the mistakes of the past. Respect your feline overlords, a timeless message. So the next time you encounter a cat, remember the lessons of the Bronze Age. Respect their independence. Marvel at their grace. Offer them the tribute of a scratch behind the ears. For you are not just in the presence of a pet, you are in the presence of a descendant of the creatures who brought down empires. Remember, a happy cat makes for a happy civilization.